Greetings, it's Spyro here. I hope all my frogs and pollywogs are staying fresh out there. What do you have today for us, Johnny? Let's hop right into this thing.
And then let's talk about the Seattle Nazi story.
Johnny, have you been dipping your bill? Why didn't you tell me about this sooner? Just because your getaway sticks don't work doesn't mean I should be pushing daisies.
So on Sunday afternoon, a Twitter account called Bigot Basher posts this photo of a man wearing a swastika armband with the caption, #anti-fascist alert, Nazi shithead seen on D-line headed to downtown Seattle. Submitter said they were harassing a black man on the bus.
Johnny, have you and Philip Defranco been taking wooden nickels? That's not a Nazi. That's just a dumb chubby kid in a swastika armband. And some nerd that goes by the name Bigot Basher that has copious amounts of time to waste alerts the other nerds with a tweet. I don't want to jump the gun here or pass judgment too early, but I'm assuming if the harassment was that bad, you would have called the police instead of tweeting about it. But we'll wait to see how bad this harassment was.
Soon after the photo pops up on the Seattle subreddit, all these different social media accounts start picking it up, and eventually this text message was shared by the user Teeth and Claws, and it read, "Hey, so I feel like this is the only thing I can do, but since you know lots of local anarchists, there's a Nazi in downtown Seattle right now with a swastika on his arm, screaming in people's faces. I just passed him on 3rd and Unionish, so if you know anyone in the area that would like to give him a beating, ... He said he's armed, by the way."
Okay, just more allegations. But the way Philip Defranco is building this story sounds like they have some damning evidence against this chubby Nazi. The strange thing is I can't shake the feeling that we're dealing with a bunch of chiselers and swindlers here.
And we saw accounts run by Antifa and also non-Antifa saying essentially the same thing. And soon after we got this picture on Facebook with the caption, "Just watch a Nazi get knocked the fuck out."
Let me get this straight. The only thing that we have to corroborate Teeth and Bigot's tweets are some Antifa and some non-Antifa. How would you know if they're Antifa or not? Other than looking like a complete dweeb, of course. Whatever, just show me what this dumb racist kid did.
Nation, they deserve the welfare. No, it's like, oh, yeah.
I ain't hear nothing to talk about.
Night, night. Yeah, you got rock.
Okay, Johnny, go ahead and keep rolling. Maybe the dumb racist guy gets out of hand after the assault.
As far as what led to that moment, the guy who took that initial picture that I showed, he said a white male approached the neo-Nazi and yelled, "Get the fuck out of our city." The Nazi then called the man an ape and threw a banana at him. Within moments, another man ran across the street and punched that guy in the face.
Yeah, I'm not gonna believe the guy that posted a picture on Facebook that said, "I just watched a Nazi get knocked the fuck out." Because any decent human being that was watching that confrontation between Vanilla Ice and the Nazi would know that that was assault. Even if he did throw a banana and say those things, that doesn't give Vanilla Ice a license to run across the street and punch this guy in the face.
And as far as what happened after, Seattle PD tweeted, around 4 p.m. Sunday, SPD received reports of a man wearing a swastika armband instigating fights at 3rd Avenue and Pine. Police were on scene in 5 minutes and found him on the ground. He declined to provide info about incident and left after removing his armband. No one else at the scene contacted officers to make a report about the incident. And we've talked about stories similar to this in the past, the whole #punch a Nazi movement. One of the biggest arguments against the movement is if you're saying #punch a Nazi, who's deciding who gets called a Nazi? I've been called a Nazi, some people consider me a Nazi, but unlike instances we've seen in the past, this is someone literally wearing a swastika. So with that noted, I want to pass the question off to you again. What is your takeaway from this story? Are you glad he got punched, or no, you think that it's feeding the problem? Is this a different situation because he is actually wearing a swastika? I'd love to know what you're thinking and why.
I think you're a fucking idiot. Now, I like you, Defranco, I like your channel, whatever. But the only actual proof you had in this whole story was footage of chubby Nazi getting assaulted by Vanilla Ice. You're gonna have to pull your balls down at some point, Defranco, and actually come up with an opinion on your own. I know this one would have been really hard for you because somebody was wearing a swastika symbol. And no, it doesn't make the situation different because he's wearing one. Your hate doesn't trump the other guy's hate. That should be obvious to any adult that's in this situation. And as for you, Seattle, let me put into perspective how lame you are. This was the top story on the Seattle subreddit. You have a group of people there that are doing absolutely nothing with their lives. So much so that they can respond to a fat Nazi guy on a bus. And even with all that dumb manpower, all you were able to show is that you're more retarded than the Nazi guy. And when I say retarded, I'm not talking about Downs or autism. I'm talking about Seattle, the new definition of fucking retarded.